Okay, I started a test without turning the recorder on. I should go to bed and try again tomorrow, but let me go back to what I came up with here. Twice the difference of x and 2 is greater than the reciprocal of 9. Now, the fact that we have x and or difference of x and 2 implies that's x minus 2. So that's why I got the x minus 2. And then twice that is 2 times that, and I had to put parentheses around it, is greater than the reciprocal of 9. So I put 1/9. Now here it's asking if 1/4 is an element or not an element of this, and this is where it's an irrational number. Well, 1/4 is a rational number. Rational means you can write it as a fraction with integers on top and bottom. So that's why I put not an element. And for this one, they wanted us to solve it. So let me start over. Step 1 is get rid of parentheses. I do have parentheses here, so I'm going to take this 4 and multiply it times 4x and times 2, distributive property. So I got 17x plus 15 equals 4 times 4 is 16x, 4 times 2 is 8. Step 2, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Step 3, get everything with x on one side, numbers on the other. So I'll take 16x over here, and I'll take the 15 over here. So 17x minus 16x equals 8 minus 15. Remember, when you take anything across your equals, the sign changes. Combine like terms in a step. 17x minus 16x is 1x or x. 8 minus 15 is negative 7. So our answer would be negative 7. Simplify the expression. Okay, we got absolute value of 7 minus 10 minus absolute value of negative 10 over negative 4. Well, if we do what's inside this absolute value here, 7 minus 10 is negative 3, so we got the absolute value of negative 3 minus the absolute value of negative 10 over negative 4. Now, absolute value's only purpose in life is to make whatever's inside positive. So absolute value of negative 3 is 3. This minus carries down. And absolute value of negative 10 is 10 over negative 4. 3 minus 10 is negative 7 over negative 4, which gives us 7/4. Negative divided by negative is positive. Type an integer or simplified fraction. So 7/4. Okay, a globe is globe diameter. Find the exact circumference. Okay, this is going to throw me. A globe is 3 dimensions, but I don't think that has anything to do with what you're saying. Okay, so it's 41.153 feet in diameter. So that's how it's going across. Find its exact circumference, and then approximate the circumference using 3.14 for pi. Okay, circumference is 2 pi r, or 2r is the same as d. So you could have pi d. So the exact, the first part, we plug, this is our diameter, we plug that in for d. Then we'll have 41.153 pi. How do I get pi? Here's pi. And then approximately, so we'll take that 41.153, 41.153 pi, but they tell us to specifically use 3.14. You want to make sure you don't use the pi on your calculator. You want to use that. It says round 2 decimal places. That would be 129.22. Use the following information to answer questions A, B, C, D, and E. Megan has been shopping for school clothes. Okay, so she's sales. Everything in the store will be discounted 65%. Write an algebraic expression of the sale price y1 in terms of x on this sale price. For the sale price y1. And everything in the store will be discounted by 65%. So that means we're going to take the price, which is x, and we'll subtract 65%. Now, it doesn't say whether to simplify that, but we're taking our original price and we're knocking off 65%. You could also write 0.35x. I wonder which one is what it's looking for, but we'll see. Now here they say complete this table, so we want to put all these prices in for x. Now again, that can be written as 0.35x. Because you think about it, 1 minus, or 1x minus 0.65x. This is a like term, so you take 1 minus 0.65 gives you 0.35. Okay, so we got 0.35 times 32.38. 2 decimal places, 11.33. And then we got 0.35 times 36.04, 12.61. 0.35 times 17.48, 6.12, 0.35 times 56.36, 19.73, 0.35 times 27.12, 9.49, 0.35 times 10.41. We'll see what kind of errors I have after I get done with this. The odds of me not typing something in right or making a little mistake are pretty good. 3.64. But you never know. Miracles do happen. 0.35 times 40.99, 14.35. If she purchases all the items on sale, what will her total bill be before taxes? Okay, so add all these up, I guess. 11.33 plus 12.61 plus 6.12 plus 19.73 plus 9.49 plus 3.64 plus 14.35, 11.33, 12.61, 6.12, 19.73, 9, okay, 77.27, 77.27. What was the total after taxes if 4% is added to the bill? That means we're going to take our original amount and we're going to add 4%, so 0.04 of the original amount, so times 77.27. And that tells us 80.36. 80.36. How much did she save before taxes by waiting for the sale? Before taxes. So if we take this and subtract or take the sum of this and subtract some of that, that should give it to us. Okay, so we got I guess total sale price is $77.27. So I'm going to do 32.38 plus 36.04 plus 17.48 plus 56.36 plus 27.12 plus 10.41 plus 40.99. 32.38 plus 36.04 plus 17.48, 56.36 plus 27 plus 10.41 plus 40.99 minus my 77.27. Looks like we saved, that seems pretty high. Might probably be, seems about right. We'll know after I submit the test. 143.51. Okay. One problem. What's this one? Okay, use the diagram. Let me clear up my tablet here. Use the diagram to find the angle measures. Recall that sum of the angles is 180. Okay. So these three sides all add up to 180. So we got x plus 9x plus x plus 4 is going to equal to 180. Combine like terms. X plus 9x plus x gives us 11x plus 4 equals 180. Step 1 of solving a linear equation. Get rid of parentheses, don't have any. Get rid of fractions, don't have any. Step 3, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. So I'll take 4 over. So I got 11x is equal to 180 minus 4. 180 minus 4 is 176. And last step, divide both sides by number in front of your x. So we divide both sides by 11. And we got x is equal to 16. What are they asking though? We call that, okay, this is 16 then. This will be x plus 4, so 16 plus 4 is 20. And this will be 9 times 16, which is 144, 164, 174, 180. 150, 160. Okay, that checks. Excuse me. Okay, find 3x plus y when x is equal to 5. So we're going to put 5 in for the x, and y is equal to 9. So we'll put 9 in for the y. That gives us 15 plus 9, which gives us 24. The formula for the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r to the third. Steel ball to the right is in the shape of a sphere and has a diameter of 48 millimeters. Okay, so that would be my r. It says find the exact volume. So we'll plug in 48 millimeters in for r. Now don't worry about the unit measure because down here it says cubic millimeters. So millimeters, millimeters, I know it's all going to work out. So I don't know why I got two different calculators up, but that one's broke, so let me close that. Let's try this one. I'm being lazy. 4 divided by 3 times 48 caret 3. So 48 to the third. Press enter. 147,456 pi. 147,456 pi. It says find 2 decimal approximation for the volume. I wonder what that means. It doesn't say to use 3.14 for pi. They did earlier though. Might get this one wrong for that reason, but multiply times pi 463 011.84. Okay. We'll clear this off. During the 2010 baseball season, number of wins for 3 teams was 3 consecutive integers. Of these 3 teams, the first team had the most wins, last team had the least. Total wins for these 3 teams is 192. Okay, I think the key part here is it says 3 consecutive integers, which means team 1, team 2, and team 3. I probably shouldn't say that because that won't necessarily correspond to these first, second, and third here. This would be x, this would be x plus 1, and this would be x plus 2. When we say 3 consecutive integers, that means you take your previous integer and you add 1, so x plus 1. And then you take your previous one and add 1. X plus 1 is x plus 2. Now these together are going to add up to total number of wins is 192. So we're going to have x plus 1 plus x plus 2 is equal to 192. So combine like terms, x plus x plus x is 3x, 1 plus 2 is 3, equals 192. Take 3 to the right side, and you get 3x is equal to 189. Divide both sides by 3, and we get x is equal to 63. So this would be 63, 64, 65. But they're putting additional conditions on this. It says of these 3 teams, the first team had the most wins. The most wins is 65. The first team, so this would be 65. The last team had the least wins. Okay, least wins was 63 right here. That's the last team, so that'd be the third team here, 63, and then this would be 64. If I'm reading that correct. If not, I'll blame it on the lateness of the evening. Determine whether the following statement is true or false. 3 is an element of Q, where Q is a set of rational numbers. Now you might say, well, that's not a fraction, but remember, we can write it as 3 over 1. You can always create a fraction by writing it over 1. And a rational is when you can write it in fraction form with integers on top and bottom. So the statement, is this a set of the rational numbers? True. Solve this equation. Okay, so we got 3 times x plus 2 plus 8 is equal to 3x plus 9. Okay. First step, get rid of parentheses. We do have parentheses here, so I use the distributive property. I'm going to take 3 times x, which is 3x, 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 8 is equal to 3x plus 9. Always combine numbers at a step. 6 plus 8 is 14, equals 3x plus 9. Step 2, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Step 3, get everything with an x on one side and numbers on the other. So I'll take this 3x and move it over. And I'll take this 14 and move it over. Whenever you move anything across or equals, your sign changes. So we got 3x minus 3x is equal to 9 minus 14. 3x minus 3x is 0. 9 minus 14 is negative 5. Now we have a problem. All of a sudden, x disappeared, and we came up with something that's not true. 0 cannot never equal negative 5. That means no solution or inconsistent. This particular problem is referring to it as no solution. Okay, this is the order of operations. So we've got negative 18 divided by 6 times 3. Please, parentheses, don't have any. Excuse, exponents, don't have any. My dear, multiplication and division as you encounter either one from left to right. Well, our first one here is negative 18 divided by 6, which is negative 3. And then we're still doing the multiplication division part. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 27. Insert less than, greater than, or equal to. Well, 7.4 is 0. If you got a 0 at the end, that's the 0 can drop off. So these are equal to each other. Large western state consists of 3268 million acres. Approximately 82% of this land is federally owned. Find the number of acres that are not federally owned. That's tricky. Normally I don't catch ones like that because I don't read it that close. So if they tell us that 82% is federally owned, then not federally owned would be 100% minus this, or 18% is not federally owned. So to figure out how much are not federally owned, we'll take 3,268. So 3,268, and we'll multiply it times 18% in decimal form. So 3268 times 0.18, 588.24. 588. Type an integer or decimal. Round to final answer to 2 decimal places. So 588.24. Use the distributive property to find a product. So we got negative 5 times x minus 2y plus 9. Distributive property, we're going to take the negative 5 and multiply it times each term inside. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 2y is positive 10y. Negative 5 times 9 is negative 45. So we got negative 5x plus 10y minus 45. Simplify your answer. Okay. Complete the following statement to illustrate the multiplicative identity property. 15 times 1 is 15. Choose the property illustrated by the calculator screen. It looks like we're shifting the parentheses. Well, my eyes aren't very good. Looks like we're taking the parentheses and putting it around that. Now, when you're changing your parentheses around, that's associative property. So that'd be associative property. Commutative is when you flip the two numbers. Simplify the expression. We got negative 5 squared plus 2 to the third. Okay, please do what's inside of parentheses. There's nothing inside of parentheses. Excuse exponents. Well, here's our first exponent. Negative 5 squared, negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. We're still on the exponents of order operations. Here's 2 to the third. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then Aunt Sally, addition, subtraction. 25 plus 8 is 33? Yeah, 33. Write the following as an algebraic expression. The cost of the X compact disk, if each compact disk costs $1.89. So the cost of X compact disks is $1.89 times X. You take your price for one compact disk times your total number of compact disks. Assuming I'm reading that correctly. Okay, solve this equation. Let me clear this off. So we've got 1/15 a times a plus 5 is equal to 1/9 times 4 minus a. Now step 1, get rid of parentheses. Well, we do have parentheses here. So we're going to take this 1/15 and multiply times a and times 5. Then we'll take this 1/9 times 4 and times negative a. 1/15 times 9 is 9/15. Is that... Wait a minute. I hate A's. Okay. That's an A, not a 9. 1/15 times A is 1/15 A. 1/15 times 5 is 5/15. 1/9 times 4 is 4/9. And 1/9 times A is negative 1/9 A. Let's see, this is a 9, that's an A. Okay. Now, step 2. Get rid of fractions. Multiply everything by the LCM of all your denominators. We got 15 and 9, and that should be 45. So take 45 times 1/15 A. We'll take 45 times 5 over 15 equals 45 times 4 over 9 minus 45 times 1 over 9a. Now 45 and 15 are both divisible by 15. 15 divided by 15 is 1. 45 divided by 15 is 3. 45 and 15 again both divisible by 15. Same thing. 9 and 45 both divisible by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 45 divided by 9 is 5. I should have went to bed and done this in the morning. 3 times 1 is 3a, plus 3 times 5 is 15, equals 5 times 4 is 20, minus 5 times 1 is 5a. Let me double check that. Plus 15 equals 20 minus, okay, step 3. Get everything with an a on one side, numbers on the other. So I'll take negative 5a to the left side and a 15 to the right. So we got 3a plus 5a equals 20 minus 15. Combine like terms, 3a plus 5a is 8a, 20 minus 15 is 5. And step 4, divide both sides by the number in front of your a. Number in front of our a is an 8. So that gives us a is equal to 5/8. Assuming I didn't screw up somewhere. 5/8. Okay, let me clear that off. gallon of latex paint can cover 400 square feet. Maria has a rectangular room whose dimensions are 10 feet by 6 feet. 10 feet by 6 feet with 7-foot ceilings. Not very good at drawing. Okay. How many gallon containers of paint does she need to paint 2 coats on each wall? Wall, not the floor, not the ceiling, but each wall. Well, I have one wall here. I have one wall here. I have one wall here. And I got one wall in the back here, like this. Now, this wall within red is the same dimensions as this wall here. So we're going to have 2 rectangles of 7 by 10. 10 is the distance here, 7 is the distance here. And then we're going to have 2 walls. This side here matches this side here. This is 6 and this height is 7. So that'd be 7, that'd be 6. Okay, so this is 2 times, and then the area, we take 7 times 10, length times width. That's 70 times 2 is 140 square, whatever we're talking about, feet. This one is 2 times, and then the area of this, which is length times width, so we've got 7 times 6. That's 42 times 2 is 84 square feet. So adding those together, we get 4, 12, 1, 324. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But we want 2 coats. So we're going to take that and multiply it times 2. So it gives us 8, 4, 648. A gallon can cover 400 square feet. So if we take 648 divided by 400, I feel like I'm missing something in this problem. 648 divided by 400, 1.62. Now, of course, you can't buy 1.62 gallons of paint, so we're going to put in 2 gallons. If you buy 1 gallon, that's not enough. 2 gallons would be enough. There's a rectangular room whose dimensions are 10 feet by 16 feet. Did I say 16? 16. Good thing I checked that. I would have missed that. This is 16. So this is 2 times 7 times 16. 7 times 16. I could actually work this ahead of time and go off of the script, but it's much more entertaining for me to do it on the fly. And it also shows you if I do screw up that that's okay to mess up in math. Sometimes you do. Like not being able to add 140 plus 84. Boy, that's bad. Now confidence is really shot. Okay, 364 times 2. 224 plus that, 6, okay, 728. So then I'll take 728 divided by 400. Probably would have got it correct anyway, despite my mistakes. 28 divided by 400. 728 divided by 400. 1.82. So it still goes to 2 gallons. Assuming I'm still not, I have not missed the wording. Okay. Solve the equation for the specified variable. Let me get rid of this horrible word problem here. We got S is equal to GH minus 6GC squared. We're solving for G. Okay, step 1, get rid of parentheses. Actually, let me check to make sure I wrote it down correctly. Okay, step 1, get rid of parentheses. Don't have any. Step 2, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Step 3, get everything with the variable we're solving for on one side, everything else on the other side. We're solving for G, and everything with G is over here, and everything without a G is over here. So that's done. Step 4, if possible, factor out the variable you're solving for. We're solving for G, and I said it's possible if you have 2 or more of that variable. Notice how we have 2 G's here. So I'll factor out a G, and that gives us H minus 6C squared. And then step 5, divide both sides by what's in front of / back of the variable you're solving for. Nothing in front of it, but there's an H minus 6C squared after it, so I divide both sides by that. So then those cancel. And we get G is equal to S over H minus 6C squared. Okay, get this. I need a fraction. What goes up on top? S. And then the bottom we got H minus 6C. Where's the squared at? Squared. H minus 6C squared. Okay, simplify the expression. We got negative 6 plus 4 negative 1 squared over negative 3 minus 2. Whenever you're talking about order of operations and you got a fraction, you do the top part separately, do the bottom part separately, and then handle the fraction. So up on top, please, well, do what's inside the parentheses. We do have something inside the parentheses up here. We got negative 6 plus 4. So that's going to give us negative 2. On the bottom, there's only one step, addition and subtraction. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. Now back up on top, there's nothing to do inside the parentheses at this point. Please excuse exponents. We do have an exponent, negative 1 squared. Well, negative 1 squared is a positive 1. Negative 1 times negative 1. Only one thing left up on top, multiplication. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, divided by negative 5. Now I really can't simplify this fraction all except for get rid of the negatives, because a negative divided by negative is positive. So that gives us 2/5. Evaluate the expression. Let me clear this off. Then we got y to the third plus square root of x minus 4 over absolute value of 3x minus y. And they're telling us to plug in x equals 8 and y is equal to negative 2. Okay, so y, we'll put negative 2 in for the y, plus the square root, x we said was 8, so we'll put the 8 in for the x, minus 4, over the absolute value of 3 times x, which is 8, minus y, which is negative 2. Now up on top, we're going to have negative 2 to the third plus 8 minus 4 is 4, so we got square root of 4. Down the bottom, we got 3 times 8, which is 24, and a negative negative gives us a positive. Then negative 2 to the third is negative 8. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, times another negative 2 is negative 8. And square root of 4 I can rewrite as 2 times 2. Down below, we got the absolute value of 24 plus 2, which is 26. Now, when simplifying square roots, we're looking for pairs of something. Here's a pair of 2s, so they're going to come out in front as a single 2. So we're going to have negative 8 plus 2 over absolute value makes whatever's inside positive. Well, it's already positive, so that becomes 26. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6 over 26. And this fraction simplifies. The top and bottom are both divisible by 2. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3, and 26 divided by 2 is 13. Assuming I didn't make a math error somewhere. Let me just check myself real quick. 24, 26, okay, negative 3/13. Insert less than or greater than. 3/7 is less than 5/7. They have the same denominator, so we just look at the numbers on top. So this would be a less than. Fill in the chart. Number. Okay, they tell us opposite is 4, so the number must be negative 4. Opposite just means the sign changes. The reciprocal. I'm assuming they mean the reciprocal of the number. That'd be negative 1/4. I might get this one wrong. They don't specifically say what the reciprocal is. If it's this number here, then it'll be 1/4. We'll see. We'll learn from my mistake, and then as you tackle the test, then you can build upon my what I come up with. Let's see, 24 plus 1 plus negative 4 squared all over 3 to the third plus absolute value negative 2 times 3. Well, inside the square root, we got 24 plus 1, which is 25. And here, negative 4 squared, negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. 3 to the third is 27. 3 times 3 is 9, times another 3 is 27. Plus, absolute value, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Now, 25 is 5 times 5 if I do the prime factorization. And down below here, the absolute value of negative 6 is positive 6. Absolute value's only purpose is to make whatever's inside positive. Now with square roots, we're looking for pairs of something. Here's a pair of 5s, so this pair of 5 is going to come out in front as a single 5. So this is negative 4 times 5 plus 16. And 27 plus 6 is 33. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20 plus 16 over 33. Which gives us negative 4 over 33. Hopefully. Negative 4 over 33. Determine the given condition is true or false. Use a set of numbers to the right. N is a subset. N is natural numbers, subset of rational numbers. Okay, natural numbers starts at 1 and goes on up. And I could put each one of those as 1, so that is a subset. Okay, true. Think about that one. Simplify the expression. Moment of truth is coming up here shortly. We'll see how many I missed. Or, normally I would go back and rework it, check my work. But since I'm creating a video here, I don't want to use that time. So I'll just let the system tell me what's wrong, and I'll go back and redo those. Okay. Simplifying the expression, what I do is I get rid of parentheses, and I'm going to combine like terms. So I'll take the 4 and multiply it through, and I'll take negative 5 and multiply it through. 4 times 10 gives us 40n squared. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Negative 5 times 8 is negative 40n squared, and negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Combine like terms, 40n squared minus 40n squared cancels. Combine numbers, negative 20 and negative 10 gives us negative 30. Negative 30. Simplify. I can probably do this without writing it down. Combine like terms, 8x minus 18x is negative 10x. And negative 8 plus 17 is 9. Okay, so we got 1/4 times 28a, I hate a's, minus 20b minus 1/5 times 5a minus 25b minus 3 minus 1/2. It says simplify. So I'll take this 1/4 and multiply it through. And I'll take this negative 1/5 and multiply it times each term inside. So 1/5 times 28 gives us 28 over 4a. 1/4 times negative 20, we got minus 20 over 4b. Negative 1/5 times 5 gives us negative 5 over 5a. Negative 5 times a negative 25. First, a negative times a negative is positive. And 1/5 times 25 gives us 25 over 5b. Negative 1/5 times negative 3, and negative times negative is positive. And 1/5 times 3 gives us 3/5 minus 1/2. 28 divided by 4 is 7, so we got 7a minus 20 divided by 4 is 5b. Minus 5 divided by 5 is 1a, or just a. Plus 25 divided by 5 is 5b. Plus, and now to combine these two fractions together, we should have the same denominator. And the common denominator would be 10. So I'll rewrite each of them with that new denominator. Here I multiply the denominator by 2, so multiply the top part by 2. That gives us 6/10. Here I multiply top and bottom by 5, and that gives us 5/10. 7a minus a is 6a. Negative 5b plus 5b cancels. And 6/10 minus 5/10 is 1/10. So we got 6a plus 1/10. Use the integers or fractions for any numbers in the expression. Integers or fractions. Okay. 6a. 6a minus or plus 1/10. Let me clear this off. Then we've got little v is equal to m over 4 times a plus big H. And we're solving that for big H. Okay, step 1. Get rid of parentheses. I do have parentheses. I'm going to take the m over 4 times a and times h. So little v is equal to am over 4 plus hm over 4. Step 2. Get rid of fractions. Multiply everything by the LCM of all your denominators. We only have one denominator, 4, so we'll multiply everything by 4. Take 4 times v equals 4 times am over 4 plus 4 times hm over 4. Those 4's cancel. Then we got 4v is equal to am plus hm. Step 3. Get everything with the variable we're solving for on one side, everything else on the other side. We're solving for h, So I'm going to take this AM to the left side. So we're going to have 4V minus AM is equal to HM. Step 4 we don't have to do. We only got one H. Step 5. Divide both sides by what's in front of / back of the variable we're solving for. There's nothing in front of it, but there's an M after it. So we'll divide both sides by M. And we're going to get H is equal to 4V minus AM over M. Fraction. 4V minus AM. 4V minus AM over M. And that's the last one. Here's a moment of truth. Submit test. You failed. Whoa. Now, you guys still got an A, but let's see what I did wrong. This is the one where I think oh, diameter of 48. Okay. So radius would be 24. So what I did wrong there is I didn't read the problem correctly. If the diameter is all the distance all the way across, so half the distance would be our radius. So put 24 in for R. Okay, that makes sense. Number 13. Negative 18 divided by 6 is negative 3 times 3 is negative 27. That is a negative, or divide. Oh, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Ah, boy. Can't do basic math. I was thinking to the power. Okay, now let me do this one over. Unless negative. I think I may have wrote this one down wrong. Let's see. Negative 6 plus 4. And negative 1. I was going to do it again. Squared goes inside. I'm pretty sure I put that on the outside when I worked it before. Okay, negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. Now, the exponent only affects what's to the immediate left. So that squared only affects the 1. So that'll be a negative 1. And negative 3, negative 2 is negative 5. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2 over negative 5. And that's how they get the negative 2/5. Okay. Anyway, that gives you a review. Won't be perfect, like I say. Normally I'd go through my work and double check it, but I don't want, this video's already gone on long enough. Probably put you to sleep.